We all know the Smasher as one of the most overpowered tanks in the game. It has an insanely stupid gun, which has 275 mils of heat pen, 94 mils of high explosive pen, and the ability to literally ruin anybody's day in the blink of an eye. But we are not here to talk about the Smasher. We are here to talk about the Mutant, which is a medium variant of the Smasher. This vehicle features a 150mm gun, which has 155 mils of pen on the standard, 216 on the premium, and 51 on the HE. Now, I am running Cali, but I'm going to be honest, if you're running rammer on this tank, you're not going to be able to pen doodly squat, so I would highly recommend to stick with calibrated shells. One thing you'll notice is that the HE pen is pretty dang bad. 50 mils of pen is awful. The Smasher has 94. That is literally a 40mm difference in penetration. And yeah, because of that, this tank is not going to be great at cutting through a lot of armor with the HE, but if you are able to pen it, you'll deal 580 damage. The standard alpha is 470, and the heat is 400. Now, rather interestingly, unlike where the T-49 only has heat and high explosive and no real premium round, this tank does actually get that little bit of penetration. 216 is enough that it should be able to penetrate the majority of Tier 7 heavies, but there's no way you're going to cut through any Tier 8 heavies frontally with this unless you have weak spots exposed. Like the Tiger 2, good luck. That's all I'm going to say. When it comes to the DPM, it's pretty okay. 1700. I wouldn't expect it to be anything crazy good, but yeah, that's fine. Mobility-wise, the tank reaches a top speed of 47, reverse is at 18, and has a power to weight of 19.1. So yeah, it's pretty fast, at least in power to weight, but overall top speed, not the best. Gun depression-wise, only 6 degrees. And I think that's the major killer of this vehicle. I don't know how it's going to play, and we're going to find out, but I can tell you for a fact, a vehicle this boxy is going to be very tricky to work with only 6 degrees of gun depression. Now, it does have some armor. It's not like a T-49 where you have no armor. The upper plate's about 160-ish mils thick, so you can get the occasional bounce from Tier 6s, maybe a Tier 7 if you're lucky. The turret is a little bit more, maybe about 160 to 180, depending on where you're shooting. So you actually can get bounces in this tank. But I don't think that it's going to be very reliable, so I can't really say that the armor is very good. It's just that you might get a bounce here and there where you wouldn't in a T-49. Here we are in our first game. Up against us, we have an AMX M445, a BZ58, Steyr Waffenträger, and a Tankenstein in Tier 8. Or Tier 7. Sorry, my brain died there a little bit. This tank is just so ugly. Like, I like the concept, but it's just, I don't know. Wargaming really did not do the best job, in my opinion, of designing this vehicle. I don't think there's going to be many people out there that love the overall look of this tank. I mean, I think the front's alright, but I don't know. It's literally just a box. Who let Wargaming cook on this one? By the way, we can see the very mediocre gun depression. Now, over the sides, it looks like it might have more. In fact, yeah, it actually might. Over the sides, that looks, I don't know, it's hard to tell, but just feels like it's more, but I don't know. Could be wrong. Got shot by the enemy AMX, and wow, we cannot pen him apart from the lower plate, but we did hit him. There you go. That was a pretty good shot. The aiming time is not bad. We can see that here. Like, its dispersion is really awful, but the aiming time on this tank, not the worst thing ever, rather surprisingly. We have the BZ, and oh, 484. Okay, I do gotta be real. This thing's feeling pretty nice already. The fact that it has AP means that you can actually cut through spaced armor, which is quite good, and surprising as well. So we have the AMX driving over here. We're gonna aim in. We're not able to HE him, but 425. I mean, being a medium with this level of alpha damage at Tier 7, it is quite powerful. That's what I will say. Like, already I can feel that this tank has some pretty good strengths going for it. Alright, so let's back up. We got the AMX. Is he going to poke it? He will. We're just going to shoot him in the hole, in the side and high roll as well. Then we got a Hellcat rolling up behind. We also got a VK. I don't really care about the VK. I care about this Hellcat. 580 damage a shot. However, if that VK does try to rush us, I'm going to try and kill the Hellcat first. I still feel like the HE, 500 juicer there. This VK obviously wants to tunnel me, probably because he's like, what the heck is this tank? But guess what? That's not the best decision from you, bro. Gonna be honest. Oh, well, I was hoping our teammate would kill him, but oh well. Either way, bye-bye. Easy shell, clearing that player, and all that's left is the enemy Tankenstein. Pretty good game. I mean, yeah, I have no complaints about this tank so far. The gun feels fine. The DPM feels solid for what it is. We're going to get one shell into this Tankenstein for 473, and that was a 2,900 damage game. Okay, this might be the next Smasher. Not in the sense of it being, like, completely overpowered, the ability to H you and one-shot you, but the fact that you can roll so hard with this gun is kind of crazy. Not going to dismiss that at all. So, pretty good first game. Almost 3,000 damage, obviously top on the team, and we kind of demolished that Hellcat. Honestly, we kind of just rolled the entire enemy team. I mean, yeah, the armor didn't seem all too effective there, but the fact that you have mobility and a high alpha gun, 470 hits hard. I mean, you just get a slight high roll, and you're basically hitting 500 damage shots. So, that's pretty nasty. I mean, a tier 6 medium light has about 900 health. So essentially, you can almost two-shot a tier 6 medium, where you can almost 3-shot a tier 7 heavy. So it's a pretty nasty gun. All right, here we are, game number 2. Up against us, we have tier 7s and a bunch of tier 6s. This is an ideal matchup for a tank like this. And I'm quite excited to see what we're able to do here. But I can tell you that I think it's going to be pretty good. Again, like, tier 6s have 900 health, and even some tier 7s only have about 1,000 health, so this could be quite dangerous. Power to weight wise, it's not the fastest, I will say that. Like, on paper it's at 20, but terrain resistances are definitely pretty mediocre because we are not going all too fast right now. The SP1C is making his way up. Oh boy, I don't really love this. I'm going to head over towards the ARL and the rest over here, but yeah, power to weight, this tank is pretty slow. I have to say that now. I really think Wargaming tried their best to make this vehicle as not powerful as possible with the alpha that it has, and it still seems pretty powerful. I mean, it's just seeming really good right now. I don't know why, but the 6 degrees gun depression doesn't feel that bad on the tank for some reason, and maybe it's just me, but it just doesn't seem to be that awful. We have the KB2 right in front, and there you go, 394, and that's still a low roll, but look at that, we got a bounce right on the armor, and it is a good example of the fact that this tank can get bounces. I mean, if you were in obviously a light tank there's no way you're getting a bounce, so in that regard, I will say the armor isn't the worst, and look at that, another nice roll, 370. I mean, you have to realize this is a tier 7 medium, rolling 370 on a heat shell. That is kind of insane. Alright, let's move up. We got a Epsilon, we got the Lycan over here, and, well, I didn't think he would be right there, but we'll see. He's probably going to keep on backing up, which means we should... There you go, 512. Man, that feels crazy. Alright, well, we got 10 seconds left. The Lycan's obviously pretty low. We got the 5916, but we also have the Nazorn as help, so I'm not too worried. I'm going to focus more on the Nazorn because that tank has like 0 armor, so we're going to aim in. Oh, 725! That is insane! Holy, alrighty, this tank is a little stupid, I have to say. Alright, well, let's reload again. We got the Stritzvon, and I'm going to aim it on the Stritzvon real quick. We got another HE loaded, and... oh, it went high. Unfortunate. I do have to say, though, the accuracy is not bad. Like, the aiming time on this vehicle is a lot better than I would have expected it to be. So I have no complaints in that regard. We have the side of the Stritzvon. Not able to HE him, but... oh, wait a sec. No, I'm not going to risk it. We get a nice 500 roll into that Stritzvon anyway, which is still pretty dang good. And, yeah, I mean, we're getting some good rolls out here. We got 6 seconds left, and we might just be able to get the shot into the enemy Sterra Amil. So let's reload, and bonk, 257. And the Nazorn's going to finish off probably the 5916. But hey, another 2,800 damage game. It's a pretty good game if you ask me. I mean, I don't know. This tank feels pretty strong. That's what I'll say. I mean, it hits hard. It's got enough mobility, as I said, where it's faster than a Smasher. It's a medium tank, so you can actually do the role of a medium, fight enemy mediums, and the gun just hits hard. I mean, I actually am thoroughly surprised. I didn't know how this tank was going to play. I really expected this to be just a mediocre tier 7, but after playing it, I have to say it feels quite incredible. Like, yeah, it's not a smasher, it's not an annihilator. You're not going to be winning every single game due to the fact that this vehicle has a high alpha, because at the end of the day, the HE isn't great, you're not going to be one-shotting people, the DPM is on the lower side, and it has very little armor with pretty mediocre mobility. So, I think Wargaming did a decent job balancing this tank out, but I do feel, if you like alpha, and you want a mobile type of tank, this is a great pickup. So, I don't know exactly how the event for this vehicle is going to be, and I will make a video on the event when it gets released, letting you guys know my opinion on it. But as of now, this is the tank, and let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.